tell me how you got started in this industry.
Okay. I was studying graphic design, and for the thesis, we have to make like a business proposal, something that we could do after graduating. I don't know why, but I always felt intrigued about sex and sex exploring in all fields and ways. So I thought about using graphic design to make everything related to sex not so dangerous, not so clandestine, not so hidden and weird. Like to make it healthy, to make it right, to make people aware, let's say. And of course, social media is very smart with the advertising. So after I made the thesis and I graduated, um, there were many, how to say it, like advertising, a lot of advertising about um, the candle industry. I felt intrigued and I started reading about it. I thought this might be a good way to explore myself, to know myself better. It's something that I really wanted to a lot. And yeah, I started like that pretty much.
Wow, that is actually one of the most interesting stories I've heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, of someone who how they kind of got started in this industry. So you basically had already researched the industry for school and
Exactly.
and then you were like, wait a minute, this sounds like it's right for me. Like I'd be able to explore myself and yeah. I'm curious, like, did it live up to your expectations?
Actually, yes, but more than that, it opened a whole new world to me. Like, I don't know, but I think everybody has a moment in their lives when they think to themselves, am I normal? Is it normal that I think this way, that I want my life this way? And I was never able to find someone who thought like me. Not exactly like me, but someone who thought that sex is actually important, and not only the sex itself, but how you relate to it as a compromise to yourself, something personal to discover yourself, to even feel better about yourself, to have fun, not only with an orgasm, but something else, something more. And I also don't know, I also felt that meeting people from everywhere in the world would open my mind a lot. Like all the cultures, the knowledge, different ages and matureness levels, everything. So when I came to this site at first, I thought it was going to be purely sexual. And I thought, okay, I might stay for a year or something. Like I wasn't sure that I was made for this, that I was going to stick around. But after 3 months, I thought I really love this place. I want to stay for way longer than that. I want to know everything I can, learn everything I can. I want it for my life, It felt just right.
Wow. So beautifully said. Okay, how long have you been a model?
Since January 20 of 2020.
Okay. Wow. So it was pretty much right before the pandemic started, right?
Yes, and here in Colombia, at least, we didn't know about pandemics until March. Pretty much till the quarantine started over here, like a week before. So I wasn't sure that all this was going to happen. And I stayed in the studio during all the quarantine, and I could get to really know the industry better and the girls and everything.
Wow. So that's really fascinating. I mean, your story, it's interesting because it just sounds like you were in the flow of your life. Like you were actually researching sexuality and you were like, hey, like I want to explore myself in this way. It seems like a
Yes.
really good way. And then you start your career just 3 months prior to most of us needing a career indoors and at home. Those of us who were able to work from home, it was such a blessing because so many people didn't have that opportunity and really struggled throughout the pandemic financially and through employment.
Very true.
And so you set yourself up for this career where you could continue to work through.
Yes. And also, it was like just in the right moment of my life because I have to say myself, I didn't have big expectations of life. I thought I like to study, I love to learn stuff, but I didn't know I was going to picture myself as a great professional on any field. Like I didn't think I could become professional at something that much. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna graduate and then what? Nah, I'll see. Life will tell me. But then suddenly, like around New Year's Eve, I started thinking, like, wait, but I kind of want to explore myself, not only sexuality in general, but how it works on me and how can I live it myself. And then cam modeling appeared, and I thought this can be the answer. And literally, I thought I was going to make the year and be done with it, but I found out there was so much more on it, so much more. In here, I'm very outgoing, but in person, I'm quite shy. And usually people is like, that's weird. Usually people is shy on internet and it's very outgoing in person. Not my case. And I started feeling related to people that are the same way. Like when virtuality actually allows you to show your true colors. Literally feel so comfortable talking to a camera anytime. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's really well said. And I think a lot of people feel that way and they don't even realize it. You're right. There is a level of feeling, I think, safer to show yourself when you're kind of still in a controlled environment. You're in your own space, but yeah, there's a camera there, as opposed to being in a social setting where there's 20 or 30 different people and you feel a little bit maybe anxious or shy or whatever the case is. And I'm curious, like, was there anything about yourself that showed up or came out that you were surprised?
Yeah. Many things. Okay, let's say I have two names, okay? The first one is the name that everybody used on me all my life. The second one is the one that I actually used on the website. There
Hmm.
is a personal reason in that. Of course, when you are a kid, the family raised you and they put their hopes on you and you live to it. So my first name always represented the girl who did things for everybody else, who did things to make them happy, to be good and be nice. And the second name, I think that's my alter ego, but it's of course part of me. And it's the part of me who wants to do things for myself. Since nobody ever used that name on me, um, when I started using it here, it got so clear to me to make difference. Like this is me out of camera, this is me on camera, but sometimes I want to be Judith out of camera as well. And I got to make it happen. I got to have dreams for myself. This will sound extremely weird, but I struggle doing things for myself. Why? I don't know. Like I have a self project and I'm like, yeah, I can do it later. But as soon as someone needs something, I'm right there. I fly to the place or whatever, and I can literally leave anything for myself behind for the other people. But in here, somehow, surprisingly, I discovered finally a kind of pleasure on doing things for myself, my pleasure, like emotionally, physically, feelings wise, in any way, like that. I discovered that I matter.
All of us have many aspects to ourselves. None of us are just like exactly one thing all the time.
Exactly.
But it does take getting to know yourself in a way like, oh, I do have this part of me and it's really useful in this area, but maybe not so useful in that area.
Exactly like that. And it also helped me feeling everything more realistic to find out that it's not only about getting the money, but about investing it wisely, about saving it, about being an adult. Like, as I said before, let's say I'm a graphic designer. Art is not well paid, or design is not well paid, especially in this area. So I thought I like this career and I do it with passion, but am I sure that I'm gonna be able to live by myself? Nah. I remember that I made like this dream map when I just started in January of 2020, and I thought, oh, maybe someday around my 30s, I'm gonna rent an apartment and live by myself. Yeah, sounds kind of cool. Like that was my highest expectation. 3 months later, quarantine started, and I started finding out, okay, this is a lot of cash for myself, for what I'm used to have. what am I going to do with it? Now I can live by myself. I can actually own a property or couple properties if I distribute it well. I can actually feed my pets and tell my family that I can give them whatever they want.
What do your friends and family think about your career?
Well, my family, it's difficult. I mean, they are very religious and all that, but after explaining them how things actually are and how I wanted to live this experience, because everybody wants it differently, but I want it as responsible as I can, you know? So they support me currently. They support me. Um, yeah, they don't really have much opinion on it. So my friends on the other side, they are quite curious. They are around my age, between 20s and 30s. And I like it because we talk a lot about this as a new topic, and it's like the job of the moment here in the country. So most of girls are cam girls. And we discuss about how they think the industry is, and then when they hear my stories and stuff, they can't believe it. They can barely believe it.
Wow.
And it's like my everyday, let's say. So yeah, it's cool to be able to change their minds a bit.
Absolutely. You mentioned that in your country, this is kind of the hot job of the moment.
Yes. The thing it's simple. Let's say. I know that Romania, Russia, and Colombia are the countries with most models on the website, for example. I would say that in Colombia, it is because um, it's a good chance for a person without a degree to get a well-paid job. Actually, jobs in here are not well paid at all. Even if I didn't earn that much in Jasmine, I would earn more than a university teacher or a doctor. And then you're like,
Wow.
why? But
Yeah.
it's cool. It's a good way to progress on your own way, to look for your path. So I have to admit, education in here is not great. Not everybody has the same chances. This is a chance. Literally, this is a chance.
That makes
Also,
sense.
migration, people from Venezuela coming here or from other countries who have to migrate and they need a job that they can do easily without validating like um the degrees or other stuff.
Tell me honestly, from your experience and your perspective, what are the pros and cons of being with the studio?
Okay, I'm gonna be extremely honest. You can
Please.
cut this, delete this, anything. The deal is this: not everybody has good intentions. And I think that for anything you're gonna do in life, you need to have at least respect for the industry or field. Some people are just about the money and the money for themselves, not really the health for the girls.
Mm.
So, for example, I will admit, when you are a girl in this industry this young or even younger, you don't know much about life. You need to see the world, and it's fine that you want this kind of money in this way, but you have to be responsible and start learning, reading, getting information. Otherwise, some people with bad intentions will not care about you and leave you with nothing. Studios, many are great. I have seen some studios that do it with the heart, where of course they need the money and they earn the money, but they go with the legal. They really respond for the contracts and the things they say. They really treat you as an adult. Technically, I could say that I entered in this place as a kid. This was my second official job. I was a freelance cam girl, but I was a freelance makeup artist and graphic designer. Not really a job, but kind of. And I was a cashier before that. So I didn't have much experience. Still, I was expecting to be treated as an adult, to be paid as an adult, to have adult responsibilities. But that place specifically treated me like a child. And other places do the same. Like they don't go straightforward, they don't go by the rules. And but but the good studios are great. It's great to have a team, to stand out, to really learn, to feel that you have a company. We are humans and we need interaction somehow with someone. What saves me in this moment is that I'm not completely alone. Like me and some friends, we rented a place and we are each other's monitor, each other's trainer. We also do the streams. So we help each other with it. We are each other's photographers. So we have a studio, but it's not a studio.
Hmm.
But I think it's quite important to have a team. If you go solo, I think you won't be as professional as you expect to be. But if you don't want to be so professional, it's completely fine as well. Like you have to think, what do you want? If you want more freedom or more results, and the freedom is also, don't know, it depends on you very much on what you think freedom is and whatever. It's complex.
It sounds like it's with many things in business, you have to be careful about who you're signing contracts with, like
Yeah,
um that is that, and that's a risk, I think, in almost every business.
I can agree.
Can you trust this deal? Can you trust this person that you're considering having a partnership with?
Actually, this is just like any other job, but funnier.
When you were at the studio, did you feel like you were forced to work all the time? Or that's something I hear a lot. Um,
I'm gonna be extremely honest. I didn't
Please.
feel that I was being forced to overwork because I liked it. Actually, I could start my stream and 12 hours went by and I didn't realize. Of course, there were harder days when things were not so dynamic and I felt like 1 hour is 6 hours. But in general, they didn't in my case. What I feel is that mm, the times for them are different than the different to the times for me. Example, for me, working time, it's doing my makeup, doing my outfits. That back in time, I used to make my outfit almost every day. I know how to stitch and sew and all that. So I like to make outfits like in moment, depending on what I'm imagining for the day. And like, yeah, I don't know, I was
Yes.
curious with it. So I took like 30 minutes to an hour perfecting the outfit, then the makeup, then the hair. And for me, that is work time, not online time, but work time. You know that there is a member chat. Usually you try to not stick with member chat so long, it's not good, but it happens. And at the end of the period, it can be 20 minutes to an hour. So they didn't count that as work time, but when they make it look like work so much, it stops being fun, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It
I
would be
understand.
different if they said it another way. If they explain you and they let you be, if you want to progress in school, and if you don't, it's fine as well. Like, let us be, because when they are all the time, like, you feel you're not being treated like an adult, but like a child again. You have to be responsible. So, okay, girl, you don't want to be responsible with your contract? Like, they cannot force people to work, but girls cannot force the studios to be happy with them not working either. There has to be like co-working in there. In my case, they didn't force me.
Is there anything about the industry or Jasmine that we haven't talked about, but you would like to?
I think this place also teach you a lot, not only about yourself, but about how to be a better person somehow. I think this place helps you being empathetic or learning how to be empathetic when you feel bad or when someone tells you how they feel. And I think it's important to get back that human part of us. Sometimes we focus a lot on doing things, being those ants who work all day, and we don't stop being people, but somehow we kind of ignore it for a bit, I think. And I like a lot about this place, the people in general. You are aware of the people, that they are people. Behind the nickname, there is a person. In front of the camera, there is a person. I don't know, I like it. Feels like very human.
Very beautifully said. Very beautifully said. And I'm sure that that perspective of really understanding the humanity in yourself and others is very healing and attractive to the members.
Very much, actually. They like to tell me their stuff and hear my opinions. It's cute because they are way older than me, but they ask for advice. And it's like, you really care about my opinion? It's cute. It's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
It feels nice. Very
Tell me about your relationship with them.
tricky. Okay. Um, I try to bond with them. I know not all the girls like to do so, and I respect it truly. But in my case, I find it way easier for me to entertain people that I know. So I have to know a bit of them to be able to entertain them in any way. Um, Overall, let's say I try to see the good in them. I don't know, but I think myself that we are not naturally bad. I think we have bad days, and I think we didn't learn how to socialize properly, for example. So there are a couple cases when people approach in a weird way that I don't really like, but I started to think, I don't know if the guy had a bad day. I don't know if the guy has never talked to me and doesn't know how to talk to me properly. So I tried to start from scratch. And okay, let's know each other. Let's try to know who you are, who I am, find common ground, and whatever. Either they take me to private or not. I try to make the bond so time goes faster on free chat, for example, and so I can do funnier stuff. Some people actually change your mind with couple sentences and they tell you their stories and you rethink everything. Sometimes you think that you know something very well and it's this way and no other way. And then someone shows you there is more. And you're like, okay, I have to analyze it. And I think it's important to remember that those guys are where they are and they have a story behind and they have a lot to teach you as well as you have a lot to teach them in different fields, but it applies.
Is there anything about the industry or Jasmine that you don't like? And you can be honest.
Oh, okay. There's not 4K quality. I'm waiting for it.
There's not what?
4K quality
4K.
on the videos.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely that. I'm missing it. Also, I mean, let me think. Now they are not so picky, but they used to be picky with the artsy expressions on free chat. So I cannot complain about it now. But in the past,
What's something in your life that you are the most grateful for right now?
that I can wake up and look at the mirror and say that I am myself in and out, that I don't have to hide, that I don't have to deny what I am and what I like. That was a big struggle, and that was why I needed to make the thesis about sexual market, and I needed to come to this place and find out more about me. You know, feels nice to feel like you, let's say.
It does. Oh, wow. What a beautiful interview. Thank you
Thank
so much. Yeah.
thank you for the interview. You're
I've,
very nice.
oh, thank you. So are you. Yes.